Mr. William Bradford Huey, and Mr. Elliot Hames. Our distinguished guest for this evening is Dr. Y.T. Pyun, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Korea.
Now, first of all, sir, it's been suggested that Japanese troops might be used in South Korea. Now, what would be the reaction in your country if Japanese troops came there?
Well, we might be forced to fight Japanese first instead of fighting the communists.
You would be so opposed to the Japanese coming there that you might actually open fire on them.
Well, probably, yes.
Well, now, why does this animosity exist between your country and the Japanese, sir?
Well, I may give you a few reasons. First is that the communists in my country will strut, like patriots, real patriots, fighting the Southern Koreans who have Japanese, our former enemy, as allies.
Well, Mr. Pyun, do you feel that the Japanese would like to take your country over, to sort of invade it again, as it were?
Well, we very much fear that.
You do fear that?
Yeah, and I may go on with giving you more reasons why we are against the idea of bringing Japanese into Korea. The second reason is that will greatly lower the fighting morale of the ROK forces.
If the Japanese came in, your men who are now fighting so gallantly would not want to continue fighting in the same manner.
They will always feel the humiliation of having allies as their, the former enemy. And in killing our own brethren-in-law.
Is there a... yes. Well, Mr. Pyun, if you don't want Japanese troops in Korea and you don't want Chinese troops in Korea, that means that you have to fall back on your own Korean troops to bolster the United Nations battle line. How many troops do you think you might recruit for that purpose?
You mean to expand?
Yes, expand the ROK military force.
I don't know the exact number of the Korean troops because that is supposed to be the military secret, but I imagine there may be over 400,000 of Korean troops, and that number can be doubled in near future, and we have more manpower than that than for that expansion. But the question is, how can we, Koreans, with this their disrupted economy, support them in feeding and so on?
The problem is then not the number of men which you can furnish, but how to support them and equip them and keep their families alive at home. Is the economic state of Korea a bad one right now?
Oh, it's beyond description.
Is there great suffering among your people?
Now, in cities, you never notice such, but in outlying countries, people simply vanish by thousands because of lack of food,
starvation,
and so on, and young men are going to the front for fighting, leave their families, feeding on tree barks and grass, and of course their fighting morale can be very high.
Well, Mr. Pyun, it's been several years, or over a year now, that the United Nations has supposedly been helping Korea to reconstruct its economy and rehabilitate its economic life. Apparently they haven't helped very much. Is that right?
Well, I don't think so. Indeed, much has been done. But, there are many bottlenecks, because war is still going on. And I may tell you very briefly how things stand where they are now. 15 billions have gone into destructive war that has been limited to my small country for the last 13 months. And only $300 million have gone for rehabilitation and relief.
Well,
And the greatest bottleneck lies in transportation.
In shipping, yes.
Shipping. So,
well, Mr. Pion, I'm sorry, sir. Our time is up, but I'm sure that our viewers have appreciated these expressions of yours tonight, and thank you for being with us.
well, it's I that should thank you.
The opinions you've heard our speakers express tonight are entirely their own. The editorial board for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope was Mr. William Bradford Huey and Mr. Elliot Haynes. Our distinguished guest was Dr. Y.T. Pyun, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Korea.
Challenging entertainment, Omnibus on the CBS television network.